about it, and was getting kind of the runaround, not so much runaround, just not a return call for probably 3 or 4 days. Their response is supposed to be 48 hours, and I wasn't getting it. I actually went down to Sacramento's office in Mather and talked through the big glass wall to the receptionist, and I said, I'd like to speak to somebody about this particular issue. And she said, well, they're all out in the field, and you need to call Officer so-and-so. I said, I've been calling them. She said, well, just keep leaving a message, and he'll get back to you. This was based on the report that I gave to Chuck. Today, I did receive a call from him, and so I explained the situation to him. He happens to be the officer that's in charge of McClellan, and he says, you're not alone. So at least I think we have somebody, A, sympathetic to our plight, B, he said we will be able to come up with some sort of answer of figuring out what you need to do for this particular item. So at least I have somebody now that can give me a straight answer regarding this particular issue. We have a meeting set up at the site on Wednesday right now to discuss that particular item.
Dennis, I have a question. Who is requiring, is the planning department is telling you need a sign?
Yes.
And does the sign have to be seen from, they want a sign. Does it have to be seen from the street? Because obviously it's not, our facility doesn't border. I'm just thinking, just put a sign up on the building.
Well, that may be the thing that ultimately gets us through the thing, you know, because the bottom line is, I think most of the inspectors want to be able to check a box. There it is, and depending upon the inspector, as Mike well knows, some of them will say it's there, boom, it's done. You want to climb on a roof? No, I've seen it. You know, whatever, and then you get another person that, you know, is going to break out a micrometer and look at things.
But obviously, for whether we put the sign on Dudley or Parent, it's not going to be on street level. It's not going to be facing the street.
No, and I think that when I explained it to the fire marshal, because they punted back to the fire marshal, they said, well, it's for emergency services, that they need to know where to go. And if you look at any building, you have 10-inch numbers associated with the building on the street. Well, we don't have frontage on Parent.
So, have you ever had to have emergency services out there?
What we do is we tell them to come to CalFit, and because they come from they come from local, they know how to get to the fields because they come all the time. Well, I don't want to say all the time, but when they come, they know where to come. And we always tell them, come on Dudley to CalFit, and they always find us.
Right.
They always find us, and that's fine. So it's something that came up. That's one item, and I think I have a resolve on that on Wednesday. The second item was the inspector that came out, and this was ADA compliance. And my understanding, when I went through everything and we did the calculation, it was supposed to be the 20% rule and not full compliance because of the certain amount of value and everything. There's specific formulas that they work through. So when I went through the permitting process, that's my recollection, that's what they did. They went on a 20% rule. If they went on a full compliance, it would be like what Chuck has found. You got to put ramps, you got to do this, the path access, everything else. This inspector brought that up. He said, well, where's your path of access? And I pointed to the walkway out through the parking lot and everything else. He said, well, that's pretty rough. I bet you if I put my level on this, there's going to be spots that are more than 2% grade, and it goes up and down and everything. And he says, and I see nothing on the plans, on the approved plans, that says it's at 20%. It was not stamped, there was no labeling or anything on there. So he's assuming it's full compliant. And I said, well, what do I need to do about that? He says, you have to go back to the plan reviewer that reviewed the plan. So I then tried to contact the plan reviewer, and they said, well, you need to come into the office, which I did. I went to the counter at Gady at Bradshaw, requested to see the gentleman. I was told to wait. I waited for an hour. I went back to the counter and asked again, and he had left the building. So, and he's not going to be back until Tuesday. So,
this may be one of the reasons why there's so many cities springing up.
So, I was totally frustrated, and you know, I'm surprised I didn't run into Chuck today, but I mean, it was just kind of like, okay. But what the inspector told me was, if I can go back to the planner and get that planner, or plan reviewer, excuse me, and stamp it at the 20%, then he can and do this. Now, this person who came out for the final has been a different inspector that came out for previous inspections on the structural site. So he was brand new to the complex, and so he was going through everything on the list there, and that was one item that was brought up. So Tuesday, I asked, they gave me his number, so Tuesday I will, like Monday's a holiday, I believe, a county holiday. So Tuesday morning, they gave me the number, I'm supposed to call this person and set an appointment and hopefully take the plans in and get him to say, yeah, it should be 20%. Well, I need it marked down here so I can recall the inspector back out to deal with that. Everything else, the restrooms, everything else is fine. It's these two items that are the last hang up on that there. Environmental health is happy with me. All of those, everything is ready to go for the final sign-offs, but they need that certificate of occupancy, and these are the two hang-ups right now. These are two hang-ups right now.
Good job, Dennis. I know you're going through some struggles there.
So I did mention at the last meeting that it would be done. I was fully planning to be done, but these are two curveballs that came up that, in fact, the inspector said, you know, this was not your doing. The fact that it's not on the plans and wasn't caught by the plan reviewer is not your doing. So I said, well, that doesn't help me here if you're not going to pass me. So I was doing anything I could to say, well, you know, can I get through this? And he said, no, you need to go back to the plan reviewer and get these items. So bottom line is, I'm planning to go in on Tuesday to talk to the plan reviewer. If he will say, yes, it's at 20%, I think at that point, that knocks that part off the list. I'm meeting with the fire marshal to deal with the signage issue, and hopefully that's it. Hopefully that's it. Everything else is, they're fine with everything else we've done. These are just two issues that came up on the finals.
Questions for Dennis? You okay?
I mean,
that's where we're at.
What it is.
Yeah.
There is one issue though, we were assuming that the board would,
We don't have another resolution.
we don't have a resolution. And I'm not sure how that works. I know Dennis's contract, the existing
Our
revenue
current resolution extended to them at this month.
in this one.
Extension.
Right.
So,
The latest extension.
Amendment.
Right.
So I'm wondering if the board could request that staff prepare a resolution
Amendment.
Approve an amendment to.
through the end of
the
March,
contract for the end of March.
and then have Alan sign it. Yes or not?
Well, I think we can make a motion to do that. I mean, what do you guys think? Till the end of March, it should be done.
I'm hoping that these two items will be cleaned up within a week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
If
I
you
mean,
get,
it could be done by the end of the month, but reality and dealing with planning is long.
yeah, direct, board, we have a motion. We need to make a motion to direct the staff to make that amendment.
Amendment number 11.
Yeah.
To the contract. I so move.
Move it.
Second.
Are you second?
Yes.
Any more discussion?
I got a question.
Oh, Chuck, question for Chuck.
Chuck, in your report, you state that account number 2531, legal services, is at 142% as we speak, due to continuing softball negotiations and replacement of district administrator. Replacing the district administrator was nothing that we had anything control of, but are the continuing softball negotiations
No.
The only.
big number
yeah.
for our legal
The only
services?
thing that reflects is the contract that the board is waiting to approve.
Okay.
He had to rewrite that. He had to attend a couple of the committee meetings, and he is expensive.
Okay. I know we've been negotiating, or we've been ongoing this for 14 months now, and I didn't know if there may have been some recoupable costs.
Primarily, I don't know when Mr. Mr. Shanahan did the review of the contract. It might have been on last year's budget. I'm not really sure. But I think the biggest, we had some personnel issues that he had to make decisions on. We also had the contract for the administrator and the letters that he's done and things like that.
Okay, I just wanted to get clarification on if the continuing softball negotiations were the biggest
No,
portion of this 142%.
From rewriting the
Okay.
contract, which had to be done.
I'm good.
Anything else? You're good? So we have a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
I am too.
I will
Opposed? How about you,
let
Max?
you know as soon as I get this through here.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just picturing like big, like 3-foot numbers with a spotlight, like the top.
We don't have power to the street either. That was one thing I explained to him. I said, there's no power. We can't cross other people's property to bring power there. And so, again, it was just frustrating.
Just, no, seriously, spray paint, get a graffiti artist.
I think I can
spotlight.
probably hire somebody for $5 and not even have to pay for the paint. So,
Couldn't you tie into the light poles? The light poles up there?
I mean,
Okay.
that's,
Can you tie into the light poles up there?
the light pole, I mean, they aren't on all the time. Those are on a switch, and the only power to the lights that go to the lights is when we turn the lights on. There's no constant power to those poles.
Extension cord?
Yeah.
the homeless people
Tripping
would
hazard.
appreciate that.
You
with
could
their
stand out there
space
with a
heaters
flashlight.
and their-
I was thinking solar. I was gonna put a little solar panel up there and make it work. Thank you.
All right.
Make the homeless people happy.
So this month we have some brand new business to attend to. Item 10A. It's the resolution number 533 calling the November 4th, 2014 election. Board action to approve the resolution calling for the general district election to be consolidated statewide election that will be held on November 4th, 2014. I think we can do that. I don't know. What do you guys feel about that?
So moved.
Second?
You have a second on that?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. We don't have carry and one absent. How about the candidates? Item 10B, the candidate statement of qualifications. The board action to determine whether to limit the candidate statement to 200 words or to authorize an extension to 400 words.
I make a motion to limit the candidate statement to 200 words.
I'll second
Is that a half page?
that. Are you feeling wordy? Or are you writing?
Any other discussion? We have a motion, a second. No discussion? All those in favor? Aye. The same 401. Item C, combined election notice. Board action to declare how the required notice of the district election will be published individually or combined with other districts.
I make a motion to combine it with other districts.
I
Like
was
the combo? I have a motion. We have a second?
second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I am. 4, 0, and 1. No opposed. All right, payment of the bills. Board members' opportunity to ask questions or get clarification on the bills. Ratify the payment of the bills. Any questions? Can we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I am 4, 0, and 1. The next meeting of the Board of Directors will be on March 13th, 4 weeks from today, at 6:30 here in the North Highlands Recreation Center, 6040 Watt Avenue, North Highlands. This meeting is adjourned.